Have you ever noticed how loud the world is? From the moment we wake up, it's constant. Notifications, noise, distractions. We're literally surrounded by it. I was so tired of the noise that I started putting my phone in airplane mode just to be able to focus. I even invested in soundproofing my room because I could hear the traffic coming from outside, through the walls. In that investment, it wasn't just about blocking out old sound. It was about allowing my thoughts to stay sharp and focused. What if I told you the real secret to success, to mental clarity, to growth, and honestly to focus is silence? Think about monks who dedicate their whole lives to silence. They've known for thousands of years what many of us have simply forgotten. Silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's an ancient practice, a tool for mastering the mind. Today, I'm going to give you 5 powerful benefits of silence. I'm going to give you actionable steps to incorporate it into your life and explain the results that will come with it. Benefit number 1, clarity. Silence creates space. When you cut out the noise, your brain actually has time to process things. And for me, that moment of clarity came from my daily walks I take before bed. After keeping my mind locked in a cage all day, barely preventing myself from having outside thoughts, I allow myself to dump all the feelings and emotions that I'm saving to focus on later. It's not about just bottling them up. It's about redirecting your thoughts in a moment dedicated to nothing but thought. Once my work is done, I open up my mind and start the walk, and I keep walking until everything I'm thinking about is cleared up, which then allows me to redirect my focus to sleep. I start to realize what I'm actually worried about, what I'm excited about, what I'm anxious about, or maybe just questioning in general. But here's the thing, I don't let it affect my goal. I use that clarity to move on to the next day with even more focus. I want you to dedicate 10 minutes at morning or night to doing a similar routine. That's your first action step. I want you to take a walk or sit in silence for 10 minutes. No distractions, no phone, just you and your thoughts. I want you to set a reminder on your Reminders app to do this every single day until it becomes habit. Benefit number 2. Focus and productivity. In a world full of distractions, you need to get comfortable taking proactive steps to actually control your environment. There are things you can't control, simply put, like noisy coworkers or the outside world. But what you can do is create opportunities for focus by eliminating outside activity. Again, for me, I always put my phone in airplane mode or focus mode when I'm going to work because it simply allows me to forget. Even better, leave it in a separate room. If you can't soundproof your room or create a noise-proof environment, I want you to just invest simply in a pair of headphones, ideally noise canceling. If you're going to be working in loud coffee shops or public spaces, just be able to tune out your environment. Stop listening to YouTube videos and rap and all these other things while you're working, because your thoughts and your creativity can't flow to the max extent. This is your action step for number 2. Take a 1-hour silent work block as a test. Imagine you're literally in a test like the SAT or ACT where you have no phones and no distractions. Focus on the one task you're going to do. Make this the most important task for you breaking free and starting the new life you want. When you're done, I want you to write down 3 to 5 things you accomplished. And then I want you to do it with distractions. And notice the difference in productivity level from when you transition. When you can master your focus, you can accomplish anything because it doesn't matter how much time you have, you can make that time work. Benefit number 3, self-control and mastery. It's often in a world of distractions that we become lost on our true path. Think about it. How many times have you given up on a side hustle or idea, probably one you got from Instagram or TikTok, because another one came along just as fast to replace it? I'm telling you, any of those ideas could have made you a millionaire. If you gave yourself the right structure and focus to accomplish it, you would have actually made more progress than you thought you could have ever done. But that's where silence comes in. You can't focus when you're still going back to Instagram and TikTok every time you try to make progress. Once you commit to an idea, you need to be able to change your environment or nothing will change with your outcome. There's no next best idea popping up into your head and stealing your focus. I want you to almost eliminate, even delete Instagram as I did for quite a while when I was working on my first company. I cut out all the distractions and all the good side hustles that I thought I could also participate in, which only allowed me one option, which I had to commit 100% to. So you're like a dog chasing cars and you don't know which one to pick. And so you think you can go for any of them. And in reality, you end up getting none. This is your action step for number 3. Take a silence detox day. I want you to do this one time every month. Commit to a weekend day or a work day or whatever it's gonna be. I want you to recognize how loud the silence really is. How loud your thoughts are the first time they creep in, because you want to find a way to pull yourself from the work. You're gonna start to realize how hard it is to actually focus in on a task for an extended period of time. So you think you have this ideal ultimate focus, but in reality it's 5 minutes of typing on the keyboard, one quick phone check, even if it's for 3 seconds, and back to the keyboard. That's not pure, utter focus. It doesn't matter how long the distraction lasts, just that it exists. The most important person you can establish trust with is yourself. If you have absolute conviction in the fact that you cannot be distracted by these things, and you can allow yourself to be comfortable in your own silence, then you'll actually start to have ideas that work for you. Imagine you're running on the treadmill and you still have a quarter mile left. It's just you and your thoughts. You're gonna easily think, well, this sucks, this hurts, I want to give up. But if you have music playing or some sort of distraction in the background to not let you think about it, you actually accomplish it much easier. This brings us into number 4, addiction to noise and dopamine. We're used to constant stimulus, so much that stimulus, I would argue, has replaced silence. Most people, including you, probably can't sit still for 5 minutes without checking your phone or the latest update. Even just hearing that ping and needing to see what it's about, even if it's just another email. It's like you know what the distraction is, but you choose to let it affect you still. The truth is, you have probably some sort of dopamine addiction, and it's probably also gotten worse within the last decade, because everything has for everyone. In fact, it's not just stimulus of technology, but dopamine in general. See, you want to reward your brain and give it a dose of dopamine every time you accomplish a task for what you think matters in your life. But instead, you're dosing it and doping it up every time you scroll on social media, ingest sugary foods, or watch pornography. After you get that hit, your levels drop way below baseline, and so all you want is to get back up by feeling something else. It's literally the same effects as if you had an addiction to drugs or alcohol or anything like that. So guess what? You want another activity that brings you up to the baseline fast instead of slowly progresses you there from hard work. And so you'll never choose the option that truly matters in your life until you give up the things that don't. Here's your action step for number 4. I want you to do a dopamine detox for 30 minutes every day for the next 2 weeks. No phone, no social media, no distractions. This will also be a separate block of time from the previous blocks of time. I want you to train your brain to be okay with boredom and to allow silence to replace the constant noise. You see, if work is the only stimulus in your life and that work is toward what you want, then that's gonna be the only thing your brain rewards you from, because nothing is otherwise the status quo. Your status quo is so high that you have to drop down to get some sort of work done, and so you find no pleasure in it. Over time, I want you to slowly increase that 30 minutes to 40 to 50, up to 60 minutes a day without your phone, sugar, or distractions. Eventually, you should be able to extend that to multiple hours or even big chunks of the day. Listen, I get it, right? I like ice cream, I like sugar, I like scrolling on Instagram from time to time, but I don't do it anywhere near what the average person does. And so with that time I save and the dopamine hits I get, my brain is a lot fresher and I can actually accomplish and feel accomplished from what I'm doing on the side. You will get there too, but you have to trust that you can actually do it, and you have to understand that the pain that you think you're getting from leaving these things behind is actually going to be replaced in the long run. If you know that, then you can do it. And eventually, when you leave social media behind and you leave the addictions, you slowly start to get your life back. And number 5, your time. In the absence of noise, you begin to take back your most important asset, time. Think about how much time you waste from moving from one distraction to the next. When you embrace silence, you take ownership of that time. You stop wasting energy on things that don't mean as much. If I gave you 24 hours and asked you what percentage of that time you actually got done true tasks without distraction that was related to the goals you want to achieve, what would that be? After sleeping, eating, and going to work at your normal job, what percent of that free time that you have left are you actually committing to your future? To what should ideally replace all of that with a better life. See, it's only in silence that we determine what we truly want. Having time to be silent leads to more time. In silence, we develop our best ideas, our best motives, and our true purpose in this world. When was the last time you took that car ride or did that workout without music, simply because you wanted to be at peace with the vessel that you call your body? You know, the vessel you're supposed to be taking seriously and respecting because it's the only one you have. And instead you're shooting it up just because you can't be comfortable in your own skin for 5 minutes. Your body, your mind actually blesses you all the time with the same ideas that you're so excited to get into business to do or to invest more time in. But you're not realizing that because you won't give yourself the space to even be comfortable with yourself. And this is the final point I want to make. Nobody knows who they are anymore. Everyone is putting up a front. Everyone is taking on a stance that they don't even know they believe. Why does this happen? It's because we don't even have the opportunity to figure out what our actual values are, because we're so distracted by anything taking up our free time that we can't actually confront ourselves, the most important person in all of our lives. I've talked to so many people that don't know how they feel about certain issues or have opinions on things anymore just because they don't have time to think about anything. They trade what little free time they have for distractions, and the distractions limit the opportunities to create more free time. It's a trap. It's one we've all fallen victim to, but one that doesn't have to stop you. I want to see how long you can actually go without the distractions. If you can cut out just that worst factor, then you've already improved your situation by a substantial amount. You don't have to get rid of everything at once. I'm not asking you to change your whole life, but if you pick one thing to focus on, that one thing will lead to 2, will lead to 4, and it will continue to compound until all of a sudden a wave of change has taken over your past, and what's left is a future that you get to create for yourself. I know there's a great person watching me right now from the other side of the screen. Do you? Have you looked in the mirror? Because I honestly guarantee the next time you do, and you allow yourself to be comfortable with that person, you're gonna realize how much potential they truly have.